Hello there, you loose units, and welcome back to another episode of Spicy Boy Reviews. I'm, of course, your host, Andrew Iles. Hope you've been looking after yourselves, looking after each other, pulling your heads in and all that jazz. Yes, it is another week. Yes, it is another movie review. And today we're reviewing the latest Paranormal Activity installment, Next of Kin. A young woman named Margot is on the hunt to find her lineage as she was adopted as a baby. And her investigation leads her to an Amish family in bumfuck nowhere. Turns out, her heritage has some dark secrets and twisted tales. Immerse yourself in this, found footage film? In Paranormal Activity, Next of Kin. That's right, Paranormal Activity, Next of Kin, the latest installment in the franchise. This one being directed by Willem Eubank, who directed a thriller released last year, a sort of an alien-esque movie called Underwater, and is slated to direct the modern remake of The Count of Monte Cristo. Because the original Paranormal Activity was a very novel idea, cheap and effective horror/thriller, that stood on the shoulders of films like The Blair Witch Project and other found footage movies. Then it made a shit ton of money, and we got 7 films in the franchise with one sidequel from Japan called Paranormal Activity Tokyo Drift. In this installment, we get a young woman by the name of Margot, whose mother gave her the old Moses treatment by dropping her off on the doorstep of an orphanage many years ago. And she needs to track down her blood relatives. Oh, did I mention that she's filming a documentary about the whole thing, to explain away while they're filming all this content? How convenient! She's joined by her non-threatening, inoffensive black best friend, and the dopiest guy who is really only there to say stupid things so Margot can look at the camera at how stupid he is. Giving it the old Jim Halpert treatment. Her investigation to her blood lineage leads back to an Amish family who live in the middle of nowhere, who is kind of a pseudo wrong turn-esque kind of family. We have the head of the family here, pseudo James Hetfield, and this whole family is all kinds of creepy. The film has the exact same structure as all Paranormal Activity movies. We get some mundane, everyday, boring stuff being filmed, then a creepy night scene, then everyday, mundane, boring stuff, then stupid guy says something stupid, then creepy night scene. Mundane day stuff, dum-dum says something stupid, creepy night scene. It doesn't take long before Margot has a creepy night scene where she stumbles upon a plot device, exposition, a letter that was written by her mother many, many years ago. She confronts James Hetfield about it, and turns out that her mother was preggers, knocked up with an outsider from the village, and was shunned by the family. Now, it's about halfway through the film that, the creepy shit starts to ramp up, and we tick all the boxes here. The film crew, Margot's film crew, witness the birth of a double-headed lamb, which is obviously an import from Tasmania. All of the night vision and doors opening by themselves that you could poke a stick at, and a kid or two walking around at night just waiting for the perfect opportunity for a jump scare. It's not long before the gang stumble upon the Blair Witch shack, a boarded-up creepy church in the middle of nowhere. Then they have to break inside to get answers. What's that? Margot asked the camera. Oh, you mean all the creepy drawings on the ground that it's clearly illustrations of the devil? Let's investigate. Then they lift up a floorboard and find this creepy tunnel going down to what looks like the center of the earth. Better go down and check it out. This can only go well. This film, of course, it goes without saying, has jump scares galore. It's to be expected in modern horror/thriller films and, of course, the Paranormal Activity movies. Also, the noise that accompanies jump scares I kind of get with other modern horror films, but with these found footage movies, where do they come from? Do the people stumble across the footage and then chuck in a loud bah every time some shit jumps out? Why do they keep doing this? Jump scares aren't scary, they're just really friggin' annoying. Jump scares are shit, honestly. It's just what 13-year-olds think actually makes a good horror film. Yeah, The Exorcist is really boring because there's no jump scares in it. It's shit. But what's that? A twist in the plot? Oh, movie, you've given me chills and they're multiplying. Like all Paranormal Activity films, this one is no exception. It's all relatively mundane build-up, up into a panic-inducing, quite interesting climax of the film. It goes from wrong-turn weirdos to pretty much The Descent. And saying that, one of the mongoloids from The Descent pops up in this, makes a little cameo. Honestly, I think this movie forgot that it was a found footage film, really. We get the most cinematic shots awesome lighting, it's absolutely impeccable, and angles that would make Zack Snyder blush. My fiance even walking past the screen as I was watching this movie going, oh, I thought Paranormal Activity was a found footage film. Yeah, me too. But the film pretty much gives up on that whole thing. Most of the film, it goes, fuck it. Like the director just wanted to make a legit actual horror film. And you know what? I get it, dude. I absolutely get it. I'm saying this film is actually it looks good. Didn't love it, but it's a really good looking film. That's kind of a compliment and a diss at the same time because it doesn't really fit the formula of other Paranormal Activity films, as in the found footage thing. Do I recommend the film? If you're a fan of the franchise, absolutely. Like I said, it's the best looking one out of them all. It's a pretty much full-blown movie. I didn't really like it. It's okay. It's kind of time filler. I did like the first one because it was just, it's one of those things that it's like Saw. It's the first one, original idea, kind of cool, and then they just run away with it. Second one, more of the same, pretty much a repeat, but the third one I think is the absolute best one from what I've seen of the franchise. It's on Paramount Plus if you've got that, if you want to stream it. I'm sure there's other places you can find it. Yeah, look, the film's pretty disposable, predictable, very predictable, a bit of time filler, but it's not the worst thing I've seen. But, didn't love it at the same time. Guys, write down below if you are a fan of the Paranormal Activity franchise and why. And also write down which is your favourite installment. And if I haven't seen it, I will definitely watch it. Also, if you've made it this far into the episode, please give us a thumbs up because your love and support keeps us going. And we just love movies, and I assume you do as well. And of course, hit that subscribe icon because we give it episodes weekly. And we'll see you next week for the next review. And until then, stay spooky, kids.